All right, we are live now. Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Jinsha. I'm on this session from for Vedayu.com, the wellness show. So Vedayu is all about how we can treat ourselves, how we can make our life better using alternate therapies. And every week, every Saturday, we have a show whereby we invite experts and people who have achieved something extraordinary in their life to share with us their life journey, as well as share with us some path to better our well-being, better ourselves in terms of physical, mental, emotional and spiritual well-being. So I welcome Anu. Anu, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Dr. Anu Mehta is a pioneer and master trainer in the field of Meta health. She's also into matrix re-imprinting, information medicine, and advanced clearing energetic field in India. So Anu, as of now, half of these words looks from a different world to me. So before we continue our talk, let me try to understand. Yes, meta health I know, a little bit of the concept also I know, but all other things, metrics, re-imprinting, information medicine, advanced clearing, energetic. So what is it all about?
Okay, so meta health is all that we know about health: exercise, gymming, eating right, taking your exercise, and sleeping well is what we know that will create health. Meta health is above all these concepts. It brings in another element for you to understand that if you want to be healthy, then these other areas are also important. So that's what is meta health. Okay. When we go to something like called matrix re-imprinting, we believe that our programs of our life were written 6 years before 6 years of age. So right from the time that the baby's inside the mother's womb till 6 years of age, you kind of create a personality, and you create there are a lot of conflicts that happen during this time. There are a lot of our habits which are formed during this time. So our basic data of our body, which is connected to your subconscious mind, let's make it easy. The easy part is that we don't know who's running our shop or who's running our car or who's running our life. These subconscious programs that were written in our system pre-6 are what are running our life. And they can be rewritten and they can be reprogrammed. And that's why re-imprinting. And with the rewriting, we are looking at new way of looking at the old programs. So you're revisiting the old place and creating new programs over there. Information medicine says, and this is Ness work, Ness work says that everything in our body is energy. So they have created a gadget which is called Nest Provision Scan, which actually gives us everything about the body. And I have actually can remotely do your scan. Doesn't mean that I use my eyes. You have to have the gadget on the other side. I will connect it with my computer and I can actually scan your whole body, which will give me about 15 different screens, right from nutrition, your emotions, your let's say, what are the toxins in your body, how much of level of oxygen is there, what is the water deficiency there. It gives me 15 programs like that. So in 15 different parameters, I can judge you and tell you that, okay, this is less, this is more, this is how it is, what we should be doing. So we are just changing the information in the body. And if you've heard of Dr. Emoto, a Japanese doctor, he programmed water. And what he did was he took water and called it dirty, and then took its image under the microscope and saw that the water reacted differently. Now we are using the water which is programmed. It is called water therapy, and you can actually use that to change the information in your body. That's simple.
This reminds me, many people have this habit before eating. They either offer prayers or they they use some or the other positive affirmations before eating also. So
Yes.
how does it help?
It changes the composition of the water, and we are 70% water. What Ness has done is they've created four categories of water, four
Four cat.
different
Okay.
categories of water.
Hmm.
And in each category, we have about 16 different categories, which is connected with embryology. So it's a very complex system, yet very easy to administer. All you need to do is uh, take this water, and
Hmm.
you don't need medication, and everything changes in your body. It's a phenomenal. We've used it with 2 day old baby, just like
Ah.
very one drop at a time. And the kid had come who couldn't walk because her legs were bent. And we used the gadget on her legs. Like you can actually use the gadget on the body and bring the mobility back. She did not. She walks and she talks and she moves around like an angel today. But she was told that she will not be able to walk ever. But she walks and she does everything, and that's
So
thanks to
anyone in
information
anybody
medicine.
can use this as a tool to help themselves. Why I'm asking you, uh, in
Yes,
Hinduism,
anybody
all the
can.
temples, if you go to temple, especially after puja time, they offer some water.
Yes.
So is it something to do again with the same philosophy?
The
I mean,
philosophy
is it that
basically,
our ancient uh,
absolutely, the philosophy basically is कि हमारी body ने, our body which holds 70% of the water has
hmm,
gone through a lot of traumas.
trauma?
Yes.
Okay.
So what are these traumas?
Okay, fine. Understood. Yeah. Interesting.
These these
Yes.
traumas are very simple. My
Hmm.
father shouted at me, and how did he shout at me? He screamed. How did he
Hmm.
scream at me?
Hmm.
Loudly. His
Hmm.
voice may have been Anu,
Hmm.
or his voice may have been very calm and said, Anu, I'm asking
Hmm.
you not to do that. Or it
Okay.
could have been, I told you not to do it. Now,
Hmm.
even the way people shout at other people, they can speak under the breath, they don't have to speak loudly, can still impact trauma. Now, if the water was given this kind of trauma, it would become very ugly. It would, the crystallization of the water would change. What do you think is happening to our children and to us when we are constantly even talking to each other? Tu chota hai, tu bada hai, tu ye hai, tu aisa hai. We
Hmm.
are talking constantly in a tonality that is not becoming and empowering. And so these valleys or these water basically calms the whole body down. Can we have a water which is called love.
Love. Okay.
Yes, actually love. And the whole function is to feel nurturing and feel that love coming back in your
So
body.
is it like water in temples have a blessing? Is that a
It is blessed water, we can say. And
yeah?
Dr. Imoto actually was has checked this water
Hmm.
when he was alive, and he actually has realized that all of these waters actually form a star shape. So they have been programmed
Okay.
beautifully, and they are programmed and they have been given computer information, and we can do remote healing for people with the gadgets. Okay, so it's like you can have this gadget which can help you in your pains, aches, can be used on the pets, can be used on the plants, can be used on you. So it's a brilliant gadget. That's what is the Nest work. Advanced Clearing Energetics was created by Richard Fluke, where he talks about he left Meta Health and created his own what is called Advanced Clearing Energetics. Advanced means, as the word says, it's advanced, clearing something, clearing energy which is blocked back in time. He's not using water, but he is using literally talking to the body part and then going and seeing where is this information stuck back in time from. Is it coming from past lives? Is it coming from your mom's genealogy, dad's genealogy? So he asks provoking questions like, is this your energy? And he doesn't let you think. So let's change just right now
Yeah.
for the purpose of
Hmm.
everybody.
Hmm.
You're wearing spectacles.
Yes. Hmm.
So let's just for the fun of it, will you be okay if I work with you right now?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. So close your eyes
Hmm. With specs on.
with specs on. Just close your
Okay.
eyes
Yeah.
and just ask your eyes,
Hmm.
what is it? Is it dur ki eyesight or pass ki?
It is reading glass.
It's a reading glass. So it's what is called the presbyopia.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if we break down first the words, presbyopia. Pia means in Indian language.
Drink.
What does pia mean in
Drink?
Indian?
No.
Okay. There's another word also. Pia also means loved one.
Lover? Love.
Lover.
Okay.
Very good.
Yes.
Presbyopia.
Hmm.
I have some pressure
Hmm.
on my biology
Hmm.
by my peer.
Hmm.
Okay. Someone who I love a lot is putting pressure on me.
Hmm.
So go back and connect to those memories where you have felt under pressure from your loved ones.
Okay.
Can you bring all those memories in?
Yes, I can see some of them. Yeah.
Wonderful. The way you have reacted in those situations
At
and the
that
way
point.
they have reacted on those situations.
Hmm.
And very simple question if I ask you right now, keep your eyes closed because it's much
Yeah.
better when you do that.
Hmm.
With your eyes closed, ask yourself, is this really your energy? Yes or no? Just answer that much. Is this really your energy?
No.
Thank you. Is it coming from your mom and dad?
Yes.
Is it coming from mom or dad?
Mom?
Very good. Go back. How many generations from mom's side has been carrying this energy?
I don't know.
If you were to know, what would the answer be? Just give another, just flip it and
Okay.
ask another. Just let the number walk in. What would the number be if it was coming from mom's generation?
Many of them. Yeah.
Okay,
Generation to
so
generation.
we can go back. Is it 1 to 10 or is it more than 10 generations?
Yeah. So it can be generation to generation.
Okay, so how many generations back in
All
time?
right. Some number to. Okay. What comes to my mind is 12 right now.
Wonderful. So 12 generations had followed your thinking pattern
Okay.
to get what they are getting as a presbyopia.
Hmm.
So now just imagine that you've gone back before the 12th generation. Just imagine you're walking into a
Okay.
place
Yes.
where this energy doesn't exist at all.
Hmm.
ये सोच है ही नहीं.
Yeah.
This thinking pattern is not there.
Hmm.
So can you reach that place?
Yes, I'm there.
So you're on the 13th generation right now.
Right.
And from the 13th generation, you're looking at all these 12 generations
Yes.
up till you.
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your learning when you're standing in 13th generation when the story hasn't begun?
Hmm. Yeah. Somewhere it started.
It started. So go back to the 13th generation
Yes.
and see what is an insight you can get there.
Okay. So inside from 13th generation, where this was not there
The story
as
wasn't.
that where story wasn't there,
No.
is everyone is free and equal.
Very good.
Yeah.
So now carry this message
Yes.
to all the 12 generations right up till you.
Yeah.
Everybody is equal.
Hmm.
Send
Yeah.
that message to your eyes. Everybody is equal. Send that message to your eyes. Everybody is equal.
Yes.
Okay, so there is an understanding that your eyes are reacting to inequality that you're seeing visually.
Wow. Beautiful. Wonderful.
Okay.
So I this is completely a new perspective to me, but also I want to ask you, what happens to, what is there is some this are the number which normally we get after 42. So how is it connected? Can I still be without
I am
spectacles
50.
if
I'm 52 and I don't have any
you
chashma.
don't have it? So it is not related to age.
It is
Which
related to age. So what happens at 42?
I don't know.
What
But this is
happens
what
at
every
42?
doctor says
Very
that.
good. What happens at 42? Your children are leaving you and going.
Okay, so that's how this age has come.
What happens in 42 is that my children are not going to be visually close to me. So if my children, if this is my child,
Yeah.
if this is my child that I'm
Yes.
holding,
Hmm.
and I'm holding my child like this.
Hmm.
Now my child is not going to be here.
Hmm.
I will not be able to touch, feel, and visually I will not be able to feel. So I'm taking the child
Okay,
away.
interesting. Wow,
And when I'm
beautiful.
moving the child away,
Hmm.
I'm moving the refractive.
Eyesight's also
Yes.
lovely. So age is just a number, as we normally say, and is it true for most of the things in our life?
Everything.
Physical, yes. Okay.
Age makes our thinking rigid. And
Hmm.
our
Hmm.
thinking, the minute that gets rigid and gets caught up in time and caught up
Hmm.
in excuses like age,
Hmm.
that's when we are going to get caught up in diseases which are related with age.
This is so beautiful. So something can happen. A disease happens at some particular point of time. How can one look at it even before happening this? Now, how do one develop that kind of consciousness, understanding that disease either doesn't happen or it doesn't happen to the extent that it impacts one life?
So the minute you realize any body part of yours is reacting,
Okay.
let it can be your heart, it can be your skin, it can be, you
Hmm.
don't have to be a 40-year-old to have a skin problem. You have
Right.
young children who have skin problems.
Yes. Hmm.
Now let's look at children who are at the orphanage.
Hmm.
Why is it that the children in the orphanage has got
Hmm.
more skin problems than the people who are not in the orphanage?
Hmm.
Now if we know, let's break down the word skin. S plus kin. Kin means my family. My
Hmm.
family is not in my surface, not in my connection.
Hmm.
My family is not in my connection. My family's taken a part of my skin away.
Hmm.
Like if I put a band aid on my skin, let's say I put a band aid here.
Hmm.
When I remove that band aid, a part of my skin goes away with that band aid. It's
Hmm.
like when I pull my family off from me, a part of my skin goes away with them.
Hmm.
So obviously, this child needs a family.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
This child needs love, it needs caress, it needs nurturing on the skin.
Hmm.
So whichever part of your body is reacting, we need to understand,
Hmm.
rather than say, oh, I have to fight it. You don't have to fight anything. You
Hmm.
have to understand your body, because just like they have that ad of paints. I love that ad. Har ghar kuch kehta hai.
Yes. Every body part is a story in itself.
Every body part, when it's not working the way it should, is
Hmm.
an adaptation. Because agar wo kaam karega, to
Hmm.
aap kaam nahi karoge.
Lovely. So one should observe their body. One should observe what's happening to them, and
Yes.
then that's a first sign that one can have about whether they are likely to be sick or whether there are going to be any physical, mental changes in their life. And these are the signs that one can pick up. Anu, what do you have to say about this current situation of COVID 19, and everyone is kind of scared about what's happening in the world? How do we connect this to meta health?
Okay, so let's look at what are the symptoms first of all.
Okay.
The symptoms that generally happen during coronavirus is a high
Hmm.
fever.
Hmm.
The second thing that happens is that the nose and your throat is
Hmm.
reacting.
Hmm.
And the third thing that off late that people have spoken about is that the
Hmm.
skin is also
Hmm.
impacted. Okay? So
Hmm.
each part of the body will have a different symptom, and each symptom is saying something. So it's not the body part that is saying something.
Hmm.
Each symptom is telling us what is happening with the body.
Okay.
So first thing to remember, any
So
disease,
before you say something, whether, say for example, COVID 19 comes first in someone's body, or the changes comes in someone's life first?
very good, extremely nice question. How come everybody is not getting it?
Okay, so it's not COVID 19, it is oneself and their lifestyle, belief, or different things that comes first. Fine,
Yes.
I got the answer.
The cancer is not going to happen to everybody. Everybody is not going to be a
Absolutely.
heart patient. Everybody is not going
Yes.
to die of diabetes. Everybody is not going to get one.
Hmm.
The question that we need to ask ourselves is not why someone got it. The question we need to ask ourselves is what was different about the other person that they didn't get it.
All right.
In the same house, there are 4 members who got it, of which, and I know of so many of my students who got it, homeopathy doctors, they took their homeopathy pills and they're absolutely fine.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know of people who died because of it.
Right.
Now, did they die just because of corona, or did they die because they had a predisposition and already a disease present where they were already vulnerable and they hadn't dealt with that conflict for another one to come around?
But isn't it, Anu, everyone will have some or the other conflict in their
Of
life?
course, of course.
Yes. It's never
But
going to be conflict free. There'll be
no, it is
something or
not
the
possible.
other. Yeah.
अगर आप जिंदा हो तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है.
Yes. Hmm.
अगर
So
आप
is
मर
it
रहे हो
about
तो
how
कॉन्फ्लिक्ट
much
नहीं
we
है.
take it or how, you know,
It is
it's a,
our attitude of how we will deal with that conflict. And most of the conflicts, let's look at the word disease, is when we are not at ease with something. We are not at comfort with something. And we are searching for discomfort कि उसने कुछ कर दिया होगा. कोई आपको कुछ करके नहीं जाता है, आप खुद को ही करते हो. So let's say you are in a relationship with a husband or with a child or with mother-in-law or with your mother, anyone. You're not getting along with them. Okay, what do? Do you solve it?
yeah, good question.
What do? Are you honest to yourself? Do you start adjusting, compromising?
Most of the time we are in a space there, you know, we make others happy.
Thank you so much. In the process of making others happy, you are being inauthentic to yourself and to others. Because that is not love. That's a compromise. And that is the expectation of the society. या तो expectation छोड़ दो, disease अपने आप छूट जाएगा, या फिर compromise करने के बजाय adjust and accept कर लो, तो problem खत्म. Stop being at dis-ease. Stop being not at ease with something. Get comfortable. And comfortable does not mean harmony only for the other person. Comfortable means you're being honest to yourself. You're saying, yeah, I'm not okay with it. ठीक है. He should, let's say, with Shah Rukh Khan standing there and saying, "Main hoon na." My expectation is that my husband will be standing there for me, "Main hoon na." So that's not going to happen. You have to accept kar lo. And not with disgrace, with love and affection. कि ऐसा ही है, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ, ये ऐसा ही है.
And we have a, yeah, sorry. Yeah, please complete.
No, things change when we change our perception of what we think is negative and positive. And when we become honest to ourselves and start becoming authentic to ourselves, everything in our world changes, including the disease.
That is about our conversation with ourselves, and it has nothing to do with the other person. It is how do we talk to ourselves about any situation, any circumstances.
Yes. It is basically surrendering. It's basically accepting. It's basically embracing, not rejecting, not standing there and saying, I'm running away. This corona has given us a chance not to run from anything and towards anything.
This is interesting. So we have a question coming. We are on FB Live, and if you have any questions related to health and meta health, please ask us on the comment box, and we'll see if we can answer them. Dr. Anu Mehta will be with us as a consultant, and she will also be there with us, Vedayu, for offering the courses, and we'll be very happy to launch her courses. If anyone is interested, get in touch with us. Log into vedayu.com and fill up your inquiry, and we'll surely get in touch with you for the same. So we have a question coming, Anu, from Amit. He's asking which kind of disease, in which kind of disease in which this kind of therapies works wonderfully. So
In any disease,
any disease, yeah.
in any disease, including mental and physical,
Hmm.
any disease. Because the minute you are not at ease with yourself,
Hmm.
you are then putting your body part out of ease.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you can either accept, change your perceptions. It's all about changing your perceptions. And the minute your perception changes,
Hmm.
everything in your body, whether it's a mental disease or a physical disease, changes.
Hmm.
And mental disease is not something that's come to kill you, or physical disease is not something that's come to kill you. It's
Hmm.
not by mistake that it is there. Nobody did black magic on you.
Hmm.
It was you who was not authentic with yourself and continued to take. Imagine
You
you're walking.
accepted it for yourself.
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Whatever it is, you have accepted, and that's why it is there with
I'll
us.
give you a very simple example. Imagine you're walking with a broken heel,
Hmm.
but you're showing the world that your heel is absolutely okay.
Hmm.
So how will you walk?
Yeah, it will not be a proper walk. Yeah, it will
They
be a
will.
proper walk, but with more of a discomfort.
So when you will actually stop behaving as if
Hmm.
you're walking in front of people,
Yeah,
which part of your body is going to hurt? That part which had
which
no
is in
heel.
fact, yeah.
But you showed the whole world that I'm walking perfectly all right.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
I.
that's what
Hmm.
is most important.
Beautiful. So we have another question from Dinesh Pora. He says, I had done an episode on Amato's water theory few months back. It's like converting water into nectar. So my question, why people don't opt for it, although it's the biggest gift of God and almost free, the mindset is main problem which goes away from free gifts of nature. Can you say a few words on the same? So yeah, this is a very nice
And
question. In fact,
yeah,
I will also add something to this, and I'll ask you both the questions combined. With meta health, are we advancing toward theories, or we are going back to the roots of healing? So probably Dinesh, she is also trying to say
so
that this was a gift with us, and we have kind of. What's your thought on the same? If you can share
so
your
there are
views.
there are two, three questions over there. One is that why can't we use simple things like water, which is a gift in the nature? It's
Hmm.
because we don't like our life simply. We don't like simple life. Very simply, if I was to say, oh, it is that simple to get okay, we don't find challenge in it. Somewhere we are constantly trying to search for challenging and make it look intelligent. The
Hmm.
more the challenge, the more intelligent it is, in my view. Okay.
Okay.
And so we are really complicating health over here.
Hmm.
Yes, meta health goes back to the time when we believed that the body can heal by itself.
Hmm.
Ayurveda believed it. Our granthas believed it, that the
Hmm.
body heals by itself.
Hmm.
Our granthas also said that the little child inside the mother can be taught everything. And if he
Hmm.
can be taught everything, then the conflicts can also be created there. Right up till the story of the Sudarshan, the Chakravyuh breaking, which happens, is because the child learned inside the mother. Now if the
Hmm.
child learned inside the mother, we learn how to deal with things inside our mother. We learn so much, and yet we are negating all this. How many of us really talk about all this? We talk about stuff which is complicated. We don't talk about simple stuff. All the stories that your nani and dadi told you have a deep impact on you even today, including your healing.
Hmm.
Including your healing. I remember my nani giving me this story, and I think you will all relate to it. Purane zamane ki story hai.
Hmm.
There was a cage. In the cage, there was a bird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when the person took the bird out and broke the leg of the bird, the other man's leg broke. What are we saying here? when you're so attached to this person, जब उसको कुछ होता है तो तुमको कुछ होता
असर
है.
होने वाला है आपको.
अगर किसी को
Yes, it's all
डिस्कम्फर्ट हो रहा है,
connected. Yeah.
तुमको डिस्कम्फर्ट होता है. वहां पे वायरस और बैक्टीरिया कहाँ आता है? वहां पे तुम्हारी इमोशंस आती हैं. We have to understand we are interconnected. We have to understand we are capable of healing. Just like prayers have a possibility of healing us, collective consciousness has a possibility of healing us.
So, Anam, before you answer, Dinesh's question further, uh, I have to ask you something at this point of time, based on what you just said. We are all interconnected, you say, somewhere, if we keep ourselves detached from what's happening around, we can be emotionally less trained, and probably we can handle the situation better. But at the same time, uh, we live in a scenario where it's all interconnected. We want to be taken care by others, and we want to take care of others, of our family members and loved one. So it's like a paradox situation. One wants to be healthy, one wants to be detached from the problems, but at the same time be attached to the people, and now we are even attached to our mobile phones. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of things we are getting attached to. So how does one see this entire things that's happening with a human being?
Okay. First of all, when I was talking about matrix, I'm not just talking about attachment.
Okay.
In fact, what I'm talking about is all those areas that you don't want to look at. Like, you didn't get along with your husband, so you don't want to look at him. You didn't like the way your child behaves, you don't want to look at it. Your daughter became pregnant, you want to hide it. The power of hiding that you think you have, and the universe has the power of showing. Okay. So anything that you hide, the universe will make it stand right in front of you. That's because the universe is inclusive, not how do you say, it doesn't delete anyone.
It will manifest in some or the other way.
Yes. So even when you want to delete certain things from your life, including attachment, and I want to delete, it is not about attachment, it is about, you cannot delete anything from your life or hide anything. Everything will show up. You are feeling a disharmony, it will show up probably in the form of a pimple. I'll give you an example of a person. He is today a very big NLP master, and at that point when he came to me, I'm talking about 9 years back, no names to be mentioned, he had a lot of pimples on his face, both the sides. We worked on mum issues that he had, and one side of the face completely cleared up, and he had not a single pimple. And this happened after 20, he must have been at that time, 24, 25. So from the time that he started getting pimples, it had never got clean. Not a single pimple on that side, and the other side still had pimples. The minute we cleaned up the father issues, all his face got completely cleared up. And with that cleared up his space, and with that cleared up his life. And he is doing amazing stuff today. So what I'm talking about here is not attachment. I'm talking about attachment to our stories, not to people. The minute we detach from our stories, and the minute we look at our stories and say, nobody's doing that to us. My mom and dad, they were as helpless as probably I was. And we need to, when I took you back to the 13th generation, you realized over there that they were not doing things in a certain way. It is you who is scared of that detachment, maybe from your sons, maybe your daughter. You're feeling that, oh, wo chala jayega, to main kya karungi? And now you need literally glasses to see anything that is far off or nearby. Because I will not be able to live without them. So your eyes say, ठीक है मैं तुम्हारी आईज को डिम कर देता हूँ, तुमको ये प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, देखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. So your body is adjusting to your thoughts.
Wow, this is so beautiful, and this is exactly what's happening with my life. My both sons are grown up, and they are about to, start their journey. So yes, this could be the manifestation of my thoughts about when will I see them. As of
Yes.
now, because of COVID situation, they are with me at home. But yes, this is immediate, near future, and probably yeah, that's a manifestation.
Yeah.
So I have one more question
Sure.
again from Amit, and he's saying the experiment you did with me, is that easy that even we or anyone in any situation can do? So
You have to have a training for it. What I just did
okay.
is a lot of work. They
Hmm.
always say that when you see someone doing work and it sounds and it looks simple, there's a
Hmm.
lot of work that's gone
Yes,
behind making it
absolutely.
simple.
So, Anna, how did this journey started in your life? What made you think of health more than physical health and explored various aspects of health?
Generally, we always are finding answers for ourselves.
Hmm.
But my journey seems to be destiny took me many places. I was in Czech Republic in a most beautiful place called Prague,
Hmm.
and a sudden event hit in my life. And the
Hmm.
event was I was actually in India at that time visiting my parents, and there was 2008. The recession had started, Europe, and I was in east of Europe. Czech Republic is in east of Europe, and my husband was having a brilliant job, and um, the department closed down.
Hmm.
And he gives me a call and says the department has closed down and I don't have a job. Now, somebody who's from IIT, IM, and we think,
Yeah.
nothing can happen in the world. For him, his whole world had shaken up. But more than him, my world shook. Because
Hmm.
I had never thought about that, कि मेरे पास, and he had worked for about 17 years in Citibank, कि life nahi hogi. And life didn't just mean life for me. My children wouldn't have the school that they were. We wouldn't be living in the country that I loved the most, and all that. He's a very brave man. He called us back. We went back to Czech Republic, and this is where my whole flux and conflict with myself as to how to deal with this new situation
Hmm.
made me create miracles in my life and made me create miracles for others. I met Richard Fluke, Carl Dawson during this time. And for the
Hmm.
first time, you understand that Czech Republic people do not speak in English. They speak in Česky language. And I started my education back there. And I was already a Reiki master, by the way. I was teaching people Reiki.
Hmm.
But those tools were not enough to keep me going. They just weren't enough because I needed something more. And a message fell into my inbox with Martha saying that she's conducting a workshop. I didn't know who Martha is. I called her up. This is a Japanese girl settled from Czech Republic who says, "Oh, we are having English speaking people coming and doing the courses." And I just signed it. That's how my journey began. But to be really honest, if I did not have Meta Health in my life, I would not be alive because these conflicts would have taken my life away. But because Meta Health was there, Richard Fluke, Carl Dawson, Martha, and the names just went on. For the last 20 years, I've been studying now. 2008 to 2020, and even before that, my journey actually began in 2000 in 2000 when my driver's wife got burnt, and I saw her pregnant 6 months, completely burnt like a tandoori chicken, and people were coming to see her nudity. It shook something in me. I would hold her hand and she knew how to speak in Tamil and she would say, Akka, enna pandara, means what's happened to me? I mean, what is all this? She had nobody to converse with in because she didn't know any other language. And that journey where I started holding her hand every day for next 2 months made me understand that there is something called Reiki. There's something called giving someone energy. My whole life changed. And if I go knocking back into my system, then it started with my son who was very unwell. He was born with congenital issue. And I would dream in the middle of the night that he's not well and nothing was wrong with him. till he actually had fever and we realized something was really wrong with him. So I think I was destined to be in the field that I am. I'm passionate about it because I wasn't learning it for earning money. I was learning it to understand the human body and why things happen to it. And human body has always fascinated me. Always fascinated me. And what was most amazing, my father, when he was not well for the last, he's not there anymore, bless his soul, wherever he is. But he sat down on that couch for 9 years, teaching me every bit that sometimes talk therapy doesn't work, medicines don't work. I explored everything that could be possible to keep him alive the next day. And you know what used to keep him out of depression? My certificates. So I studied. And what else would keep him alive? Every time I got an award, I would go back home. He would, with this toothless smile, would tell me and touch my head and say, next wala medal kab leke aa rahi hai? Next wala award kab leke aa rahi hai? And he would be alive the next few days. I'm telling you, life teaches itself. You don't have to, nobody teaches you, life teaches you. And when life teaches you, it teaches you with all its hardships. You learn not to delete anything. That's what this is about.
This is very touching, Anu. I'm like I'm still in your life, and it also gives me a thought with current situation that is going on, and a lot of people are mentally getting impacted. So some of them have also lost purpose in life. And
Yes,
when you shared your story about you and your dad, it is about he had that purpose to live. He
yes,
had the purpose to live so that he could see you progressing.
yes,
And currently a lot of people have lost their job. They have they are facing financial, emotional, mental issues, and they don't know the purpose also of their life, because what was red race and that was keeping them running is kind of taken away. So how do one find the purpose of their life with current scenario? Few words of wisdom on that. I'm sure
so
that will help many.
when you lose everything, like I remember the day Vikram Floyd gave me a call and said, I don't think we'll have this house. We'll
Hmm.
have this job. We'll have school for kids, and everything is finished.
Hmm.
I know exactly what you mean when you feel everything is finished.
Hmm.
To find a purpose at the time when everything is finished is impossible.
Hmm.
What you need to do is, that is the time, and anybody tells you it's an opportunity, you'll feel like slapping them. So Gyan is
You're
not
not
required.
in that state of mind to
No,
see the
you're not.
philosophy of life. Yeah.
But one thing I always know, when my grandfather said to me when I was very little, and we used to live in Punjab where earthquakes used to happen very often. He said
Hmm.
to me, Beta, when the earthquake happens, don't stay inside the house.
Hmm.
Get out and stand in the open field.
Hmm.
जहां कोई दीवार तुम पे ना गिरे, कोई खिड़की तुम पे ना गिरे, कुछ भी तुम पे ना गिरे, इतनी दूर जाके खड़े होना कि
Hmm.
इतना सा तिनका भी तुम्हारे ऊपर ना गिरे.
Hmm.
बस वही किया है जेन.
Hmm. This is beautifully said. Hmm.
Okay, जब भी लगा कि my roots were shaking, I did not stand in that place where it was shaking. I moved, and I kept moving, kept studying, kept moving. And inshallah, you know what? I suddenly realized I was so far away from my
Hmm.
shaking. And by then, all the shaking had stopped. I could actually
That's
go back home.
it has shaken up. Shakings had shaken up.
Yes.
This reminds me of my first meeting with you, Anu. Probably you may not remember this, but I met you at Andheri, and when we were in ladies' common room, you shared one thing. Whenever I go to temple, I don't know which god it is, but when that pujari says "Aage bado," and that has become my philosophy of life. That wherever you are, somebody is there to guide you. Please move on. And when you
Yes,
move on, you can see the other side of life and other aspects of life.
absolutely. Go to
Yes.
Siddhivinayak
Yes.
and वहाँ पे मूर्ति के आगे, or go to Vaishno Devi, or go to uh, Tirupati.
Any,
They
yes, any.
always say आगे बढ़ो, आगे बढ़ो, आगे बढ़ो. अगर आप इतना भी सुन लो कि वहां नहीं खड़े होना है, खुदा के सामने भी नहीं खड़े होते हैं,
Yeah.
तो आप अपने शिप में क्यों खड़े हो? आगे बढ़ो,
Absolutely. This is so
आगे
beautiful.
बढ़ो. You don't sit in the bathroom and shit and keep sitting there forever. You leave it behind, you flush it, and you walk out. So that's all you need to do.
This
The
is
shit
so
is there.
wonderful.
You can't deny it.
Mm.
You're not going to resist it. But accept that shit is there, find a disposable ground for it, and move, move, move,
Move on. Yeah.
move on. Sarka pude.
That's beautifully
Aage badho.
said. Hmm. So, if you don't understand Hindi or Marathi, aage bado is move on, and that's that's a very beautiful way to wind up this session also. But before we wind up, do you want to share anything with the people? Please go ahead.
I feel this very, very strongly that
Hmm.
we as human beings think we have all the time in the world.
Hmm.
At least now with the corona happening, we need to get it. We don't have all the time in the world. We are disposable.
Hmm.
We are not going to be there. We are trying to fight death when death is definitely guaranteed going to be there someday in our life.
Hmm.
तो मरने से पहले जीना सीख लो. Before you die, why don't you learn how to live? And why don't you do a few things, not just for yourself, but for others?
Hmm.
Because true living is not when you live for yourself.
Hmm.
True living is when you can contribute to the society. And the last thing that I would like to say, which my father sat down,
Hmm.
he never tried committing suicide even after 9 years of that torture in his body. He always had a smile on his face. And one thing, he had a regret that he wasn't working, so he felt he was useless. And this is to all the people who don't have work today.
Hmm.
You have a brain, you have your legs, you have your feet, you have your mind. You will not be useless even when you die, because you can donate your body. Even if you didn't donate your body, they will bury you. You will be a food for someone.
Yes.
Even if they burnt you, your body will go back and become mineral somewhere. You were never supposed to be useless. You are not useless. You are an extremely useful being.
This is so nice.
Thank you.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
with this platform and sharing your thoughts and idea. I'm sure this will inspire many people who are listening to us, and it will be a guiding force for them. And I certainly look forward to work with you on a Vedayu platform. We would certainly want to host your courses to the platform, offer your guidance and consultancy to the platform. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anu, for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much for being beautiful, you. And you know you're a beautiful person. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next week, next Saturday, 6 o'clock, with another expert speaker to talk about health and well being on again interesting topic. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.